Hi, this is Dr. Ben Young, and you are listening to the Perio Patient Podcast, episode 43. This is going to be brief, and it kind of carries along the line of the last one on responsibility. I want to talk real quickly about responsibility and insurance companies. And just to say that the way to be effective with an insurance company is to assume responsibility that they are your insurance company and don't allow others like dental offices or medical offices to interfere with that. Now, I know that's a different way of looking at this because most patients want the medical and dental offices to work for them on behalf of the insurance company. They want those two entities to communicate to one another. The problem with that is there is a disconnect between the interests of the insurance company and the interests of the professional office. In other words, this is a contract with the insurance company and the patient. That contract keeps the others out of the ability to make any changes. However, the patient who has the contract with that insurance company, maybe it's through an employer, but that is the way in which the insurance company can become responsive, is when they know that the customer is unhappy. The dental office, the medical offices are not customers. They're actually working for the patient, and maybe they are under an insurance company as a preferred provider relationship, but that's a very different relationship than it is with the patient. And I've said it in the past, and I'll say it again because I think it's worth repeating often. The insurance company, if they modify what they normally do for an office, it opens them up to changes within their systems with other offices. In other words, it's a greater threat to their economics than a single patient. And part of the reason for this, obviously, if you think it through, is they don't get a lot of complaints or communication with patients. It's very rare that a patient will contact them and have the information and the knowledge necessary to actually have a conversation about why they won't cover a particular code and what codes do they cover and how can they work with the patient and find out more about how they're going to respond. It is not an unusual, uncommon situation where an office has attempted to get an insurance company to reconsider of filing, and it's one of those things where it's very obvious that this isn't right, this should be corrected, they should fix it, and what they get back, and I get this back frequently, is they say, well, we've run it through our experts and we will not, and there is no more recourse for you to file any further requests, and case is closed, and they move on. But with a patient, that's a very different story. There's the communication of, you, insurance company, should be doing this for me. I don't understand why you're not. And what are some alternatives? And if I can't get satisfaction with you and you're not raising me up to your supervisors and going through that process, I'll simply go back to my employer and through the human resources, and we'll talk about why this isn't a very good dental plan for our company that I work for. If you are a customer who has purchased dental insurance yourself, then you might go through your insurance provider who sold you the insurance and have them involved. But beyond that, you may find that you just didn't get a very good policy and it's not working for you. And so you want to maybe consider other policies or discuss this with your providers to see if a policy is even necessary relative to the amount, the expense of the policy out of pocket. And I know that for people on Medicare, who get supplements that a lot of those things are offering a lot for a few dollars a month. And they turn out more often than not to be disappointments. So buyer beware, look into these things. If you assume the responsibility of managing the insurance company and not turning it over to the dental offices, even though dental offices can submit forms and do all these things as courtesies, but you want to stay involved, I think you have a higher probability that the insurance company is going to respond to you. And the reason they will is because, as I've said, it's rare that customers are complaining. It's few and far between. And if they decide to go the extra mile and pay you, it doesn't open them up to paying others who aren't asking for it. So it really does come down to people who call and make their voices heard are responded to, often in very positive ways. And if you're not, then at least you find out whether or not this policy is going to work for you in the future and what else you might be needing. But you're taking responsibility and you're handling it yourself. And that's all very, very positive on your side. And I get it, sitting on phones and letting them ring and all that. But even today, a lot of these companies are offering a callback option where they say you're going to be on the phone for an hour or 15 minutes. If you would like us to call you back, push 1 or 2, push a number and give us your number and we'll call you back. I've used that. And that works rather well. So have a great one. Broken pencils are pretty much pointless. Now go fly.